Hi everyone, thank you for choosing to listen to beloved Vietnam. In today's episode, I invite you to sit down, open an old book page, and go back in time, following the footsteps of Vietnamese literature from ancient languages to today's manuscripts imbued with the essence of people and land. Medieval literature, poems from history books, and the pen of Zen masters. From the 10th century to the end of the 19th century, Vietnamese literature developed in the cultural flow of East Asia and Southeast Asia. Literature at that time had two faces, Han script and no script. Chinese literature emerged in the early 10th century. From epics, royal decrees, to poems imbued with Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism. Under the pens of Lai Thuong Ki, Nguyen Trai, Nguyen Du was an entire era, both heroic and humane. Non-literature is the voice of the nation, close and full of emotions. From the 5th-10th century onwards, non-literature grew, making the names of Ho Duan Wang, Nguyen Du, and Nguyen Din Shu bright stars of national poetry. Non-literature is the voice of the nation, close and full of emotions. From the 5th-10th century onwards, non-literature grew, making the names of Ho Duan Wang, Nguyen Du, Nguyen Din Shu bright stars of national poetry. Works such as The Tale of Kieu, Luc Van Tien, and Elegy for the Righteous Soldiers of Can Juok are both beautiful in their words and imbued with the spirit of humanity and patriotism. Before 1945, when literature found itself in the transitional days, the period from the early 20th century to 1945 was a time of significant transformation in literature. Vietnam was deeply influenced by the West, especially France, and in that flow, the national language became the bridge that brought literature closer to the people. People began to write about life, about human destiny, about the pain in colonial society. From NGO Tat Tu's Tat Den to Nam Cao's Chi Phio, from the poems of Duan Die, Han Mac Tu, The Lu, to Ho Chi Minh's novel Diary in Prison, each work is like a passionate voice full of reflection, both bearing the shadow of the West and the soul of the East. From 1945 to 1975, when literature was a soldier, carrying the soul of the country to the front line, the August Revolution broke out. The country entered the Resistance War, and literature also took off. From 1945 to 1954, Vietnamese literature entered the period of resistance against the French, a period in which literature became a powerful spiritual weapon. Writers did not stand aside, but went into the trenches, recording the heroic but also painful reality of the nation. From the poem Comrade by Chin Hu, Tay Tien by Quang Dung, to Rung Shan Nu by Nguyen Trong Than, Vo Bei by Kim Lan, all record vivid slices of people during the war with the desire to live, love, and defend the country. During the period from 1954 to 1975, when the country was temporarily divided, literature continued its mission in the resistance war against America. Literature at this time not only reflected the reality of war, but also aimed at new movements of society, production, learning, innovation of thinking, and even the private emotions of people in the Great Era. Short stories like Rung Sha Nu by Nguyen Trong Than, or poetry collections by Che Lan Vien, Zhuang Quine, and many other writers have contributed to portraying a literature that is both idealistic and combative, and also contains the beauty of people, soldiers, mothers, intellectuals, and each small fate. From 1945 to 1975, for 30 years without stopping, Vietnamese literature lived with the nation, written with blood, sweat, and faith. It was not just a creation, but a call, an underground stream that kept the human quality in the midst of the smoke and fire of war. From 1975 to present, when literature returns to very human silences. Peace was restored, the country was unified, but people still had not stopped worrying. Literature since 1975 entered a new period, quieter, deeper, and more thoughtful. The author begins to face himself, the losses after the war, and the changes of the post-war period. From the novel The Sorrow of War by Bao Ninh to short stories by Nguyen Huy Thiep, Leming Q, Duong Thursday Wong, literature no longer has the mission of encouragement, but rather of provoking reflection. It goes into the inner depths, reflecting hidden corners, worries, and personal aspirations in a society that is changing every day. Literature is not just a page, but the heart of every era. 3 periods, 3 voices, different in time and writing style, but all have one thing in common. Literature is the voice of the nation. It is a place for people to find themselves in the midst of life, a place where things that have not been said yet are expressed in words and poetry. Thank you for listening to Beloved Vietnam. If today you're struggling with the flow of life, try opening a collection of short stories or an old poem. Who knows, you will find in it a part of yourself and a memory that only literature can name.